Just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Dana Gavanski live in session with Ears Were Growing. Before we get into a conversation, Dana, would you like to introduce your bandmates, please?
Yes. So to my left, we have David B. Miller.
Hello.
Hello.
My bass player.
B for beret, is that?
And then we have Fran. I'm just going to do the first names. We have James, Demi, and Jack.
And I'm Mark. So, do you know, Danica, I have to say, so how long ago was it that you came and did your first session for us? Do you think, roughly speaking?
2019, I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so it's just incredible, really. And I've seen it on several other occasions whereby artists, you know, when they come in, the very first session, slightly nervous and more stripped back and kind of finding the way, but still obviously got a brilliant talent in there. And then every time they come back, Aldous Harding immediately springs to mind. She came in and did the first session with an acoustic guitar, was nervous as hell, but obviously brilliant. Yeah. And then the second one, she was a bit more flamboyant and confident. And the third one, she was throwing shapes like a ballet dancer. And I'm seeing the same kind of journey. I hate that word, but I'm using it anyway. I'm seeing the same kind of journey for you. It's quite remarkable.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm slowly opening. It's something I want to work on more, just kind of letting my hands up and my legs, you know, out.
just relaxing more with it and enjoying it more. But I mean, you're smiling all the way through that, which is just great to see, you know, rather, because it can be quite a nervous kind of place to be on the radio, particularly with a Muppet like myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you mean? Mm-hmm. You've left Canada behind away now. How long have you been in London?
I guess it's almost 5 years in October. Right. October 1st is when I moved.
Okay, and so obviously, because of the length of time that you've been there, you feel comfortable there, and you've found a community to work within?
Yeah, pretty immediately. I guess because I'm married to James, and he has a strong connection with the music community here, so I've met a lot of brilliant people, whereas it could have taken me a really long time to do that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, people with some brains find talent and they all merge together. And so, James, be careful what you say here. Obviously, having produced the album, how was it working with Dana in that environment?
It was great.
Stand back.
You know, living together and working together has its challenges, but working with Mike Lindsay is a great sort of... I don't know, he oversaw the whole project and he kept us at bay. We never argued too much, so... we had a lot of fun. It's always a discovery when you're in the studio. You never know quite what you're going to get, and it's very playful and kind of exploratory. And Mike's a great producer, so it was a pleasure. Yeah,
he's omnipresent, isn't he? I mean, he's worked on so many great records. But...
shout out to Mike, and he just had a baby recently.
Oh, so congratulations!
Shout out to Mike, Leonora, and Lily.
Yeah, for sure. So, Dana, when you go into the studio then, do you have a very, very firm idea of what's going to be the end result, or is it kind of an experiment and a bit of an adventure for you?
It's a mix of all that. I mean, this time I made a lot of the tracks, or most of the tracks, on Logic, which is kind of like Ableton, you know. And I just kind of built the tracks up on my own and kind of found the melodies I liked and the vibe, and then I just kind of brought that to the band, and they made it even bigger and more than I can imagine. And then just like kind of like the act of just adding things and then taking them away, because you're like, no, it doesn't work. It's just fun. It's just quite mind-opening, and I think it's a good challenge because it kind of makes you let go a bit.
It's a very playful album, and you know, all of the intricacies and all of the layers on it that you're talking about, which again weren't there kind of early on. But there's a bit where Rick Wakeman is showing people how David Bowie wrote Life on Mars and the chord structure, and he said most people will go here with the next chord, but they don't. David Bowie went there, and it is a really kind of off-kilter. And I find your music has that same kind of sense of adventure as well. It's not predictable at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely an influence, and I love where he takes us. And I guess I just want to be excited. I want to be excited myself, you know? And I find it hard to use the same pattern, even though I'm sure I do. But I that's why I started using Logic, because I was like, okay, I just want to not be wedded to an instrument while I'm singing, so I can just. That's how I wrote Ears. I just like it was like jangly guitar. I can't even sing while I'm playing that, and then I just kind of like played around, and my voice came out in a different way than I would have if I had a guitar in my lap, you know.
Well, you need to leave the guitar alone a bit then. Don't you? I mean, your voice is obviously your first instrument. It's a wonderful thing. So, Late Slap, what does that refer to?
I guess the feeling of something so obvious being so hard to take in, like just kind of not seeing the obvious. I guess sometimes it's about like just coming to things late, or feeling like kind of zombied, kind of like you're standing in front of life, but you're not really taking it in fully and with focus. And
right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned zombies there. Now, this is a very, very crude jump from one place to another. But we know, we've spoken before about the fact that your dad has produced horror films. Yeah. And also, I mean, I was just wondering if he wants any extras for it. No, not me. Hang on. No, Michelle and Chris Hardman, who's doing the sound tonight, would be perfect, I think, if they want any extras.
Let's talk.
Yeah, that would be good. But also, the front cover of the album has got a kind of a horror element to it, has it not?
It does. I mean, I understand why it can be scary, because the black eyes. I kind of see it as kind of the feeling of being so overwhelmed that you are almost blank. And the black eyes to me represent this kind of like overstimulation that, and like, you know, I'm in this kind of screaming pose, like the Scream by Edward Monk kind of way, where that like kind of weird humanoid alien creature has just lost it, but is actually full of feeling that just doesn't know where to go.
You want to write all that down and give it to your dad.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could do something with it. It's been wonderful thus far. I know it's going to be more of the same now, but you are playing. So on the 5th of April, just a couple of days' time, you got Brighton Resident in store. The 6th, Leeds A Vinyl Whistle in store. Ditto, Glasgow Monorail, hello you lot, 7th. And on the 19th, Rotterdam Motel. And then you've got in May is a tour proper, if you like. The 22nd, Brighton the Albert. 24th, Norwich Arts Centre. 25th, Ramsgate Music Hall. 27th, Bristol Beacon. 29th, Manchester Soup. 30th, Wharf Chambers in Leeds. 31st, Hog and Pint in Glasgow. And into June, just 2 more dates. A Common Room in Newcastle and the Lower Third in London on the 4th. Is that everything?
Yeah, I think so.
It's enough. Right, okay. So you've got 2 more tunes to do for us. What are you going to do and in what order?
I'm going to do a song called Ribbon that hasn't come out yet, and a song called Singular Coincidence that, also it will all come out on Friday.
Great, okay, get to it. Thank you. Dana Gavanski and wonderful band.